Are you suggesting that someone's trying to make a real-life sequel?
Stab 2? Who'd want to do that? Sequels suck.
No, come on, man.
Oh, please. By definition alone, they're inferior films.
It's bullshit generalization. Many sequels have surpassed their original.
Oh, yeah?
Name one.
Stop calling me. Please stop stalking me. Just a fantasy that you have with me.
Welcome back, helpless victims, to the Complete Guide to Horror podcast. Today, BP, Coop and I are discussing Scream 2, the 1997 sequel to the runaway slasher success of 1996. In this installment, we catch up with Sidney Prescott, the final girl from the first installment, as she enters a new chapter in her life, college, with new friends, a new boyfriend, and the lovable Randy from the first installment. But Ghostface has returned. And who could it be this time? Is it her new boyfriend, an obsessed stalker, or possibly Gail Weathers, the news reporter from the first installment who returns to chase Sidney with yet another story, this time confronting Sidney in person with the just released from prison Cotton Weary, who was falsely accused to have murdered Maureen Prescott, Sidney's mother.
You're nothing but an ugly, ungrateful little whore, just like your mother.
Who was that?
My mother.
Is it possible that Cotton's out for revenge? As the movie progresses, we unfortunately lose fan favourite character Randy and discover that Ghostface killer this time is no other than Lancey Loomis, the mother of Billy Loomis, one of the killers from the first movie, and also Sidney Prescott's ex-boyfriend. Nancy is on a quest to kill Sidney as revenge and has hired a serial killer to befriend Sidney and kill her. It's interesting that Scream 2 took the opposite path of what your typical generic horror sequel would follow. Previously, sequels would either follow entirely new characters, be in the same setting, or take a bizarre route, especially if we talk about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, Nightmare on Elm Street 2, other slashes like Friday the 13th. Scream 2 was also plagued by numerous leaks of its script, where entire portions and entire drafts were uploaded to the internet.
I remember when our family got dial-up internet back in the early 2000s, it would take like a good hour just to wait for like a 2-minute trailer to load. There were definitely some changes compared to the original script for Scream 2 compared to what was released. So there were also 2 killers. It was going to be Billy Loomis's mother and Sidney Prescott's boyfriend, who was played by Jerry... I forget his last name. I think it's not Jerry Traynor. That's the guy from iCarly. Yeah, Jerry O'Connell.
Jerry Bruckheimer.
To me, they're both the same person. There were also talks of there possibly being a third killer. It's never really been established who the third killer might be, like whether it's Sidney's best friend in college or if it's someone who has returned. It could have also been Stu Barker, because they never explicitly state in the first movie whether Billy and Stuart died.
No, I don't at all.
I actually find Scream 2 to be really boring now. So whether that's a result of me watching this movie so many times in my childhood, or maybe it isn't as entertaining as the first one. My favourite part of the movie is definitely seeing Sidney in a different... Definitely seeing Sidney in a different location. So I love that it wasn't just the exact same first Scream movie, same location, same characters, same this. I like that they took a different approach. But in saying that, I always cringe at the part where the boyfriend is in the cafeteria and starts like singing and dancing on top of the table. I have to fast forward it. It is so shit.
Yeah.
It's just Dawson's
Pork
Creek.
Billings in it as well, which I don't really like anymore.
don't like Tori Spelling.
Nah. She's all right 90210, but maybe not in Scream. Just kind of annoyed me.
She's good in Scary Movie too.
Bring it on! He's my middle name, bitch!
Yeah. I love the character she plays in Scary Movie too. Just like the dumb but like obsessed. Like who gets obsessed with a ghost? But anyway, I thought the meta take on this was also interesting. At the beginning, they show people at a screening for the first Stab movie, which is a big thing in the Scream franchise from Scream 2 onwards. But for the Drew Barrymore character, they have Heather Graham play her. So it's like a famous Hollywood actress playing another famous Hollywood actress based upon a fake movie. But in that scene too, I remember watching this when I was very little and being so upset because for some reason, at one point in time, I thought horror movies were real. So I thought I was watching people die, like actual people die. And I remember my mum saying, "What are you sad for?" And I was like, "That guy got a knife through his head," when he's like leaning against the stall. And she's like, "What are you talking about? This isn't real." And I was like, okay then. And like from that point on, I was fine with horror movies. But I remember like he gets stabbed in the ear. Jada Pinkett Smith is in this movie, and I guess someone said something bad about her because Ghostface tries to kill her.
Oh, but you will sit through a movie called Stab.
It's adrenaline, Marine. It's good to be scared. It's primal, you know what I'm saying?
No, I'm gonna tell you what it is, okay? It's a dumbass white movie about some dumbass white girls getting their white asses cut the fuck up, okay?
That whole scene where she gets stabbed and she's trying to get away from him and he keeps stabbing her.
Yeah.
I remember at the time thinking, holy shit. And even now rewatching it being like, wow, this is more brutal than I remembered. She's clearly in a lot of pain. She gets to the front. And of course, everyone thinks it's a publicity stunt or it's something because everyone's in Ghostface masks. First of all, I'm still pissed off that I never received like a Ghostface costume when I've gone to the movies to watch a Scream movie. That is so unfair.
What a ripoff, eh?
Yeah, like if you want to be meta on top of meta, do that. No, but I thought it did a solid job as a sequel.
I found the opening of this movie, I found it really hard to take seriously. I don't know if it is a play on it being a parody in some parts, but I just kind of really dislike that whole movie theater scene because it goes on for like 15, 20 minutes at that point, and I just wasn't really warming to it. I just thought it's kind of stupid. And again, I go back to Scary Movie 2 because when he goes to the toilet, all I could think of was in Scary Movie 2 where you hear they're like, and puts his head to the glory hole and then gets jabbed. I don't know if you guys remember, there's a scene where Gail looks like she's in a music studio or like production studio, and she's trying to escape the killer. And it's where obviously where you go to the microphone, you sing and you've got the controls behind, but it's behind the wall, so you can't hear vice versa unless you've got the microphone going. I actually like that scene because she's actually going between the walls and she's trying to escape the killer. And it's actually quite a good shot if you go back and watch it.
Dewey gets stabbed in the back and he's like trying to signal to Gail, but there's no sound. Is that?
Yeah, and
that was really good.
She's walking around, and you can sort of see as soon as she goes around the corner, he then comes around. Like they've obviously synced it quite well. I thought that was a really, really good scene in it. And then the only thing that detracted me from Gail in that movie was with the red, the red hair going on. I didn't know that was her idea.
That hair's a lot better than the movies we're talking about next. Let's just say that. Yeah. Like a 4-year-old with a pair of bloody plastic scissors. Jesus. I like Scream too. I think it's, you only really need to watch it once or twice. It's sad that Randy dies. So there's, we mean business kind of thing by getting rid of someone who was in the original, that kind of thing. I like particularly the scenes in the film class when they're talking about it, and then you've got like 50 Randys having their opinion on this shit.
I do want to say with the opening scene of them at the theater, all I can think of is Scary Movie as well, especially Brenda at the movies. That to me is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. No matter how many times I watch it, I will piss myself laughing, especially when she's like, "Back up, let me through." Like, you can move your accent, you don't own the theater. Yeah.
You on candid camera now.
Yeah.
And someone in the background's like, will you shut the fuck up?
I've had some instances where I've gone to a movie theater and I've had to go full on Brenda.
Bitch, hang the phone up and star 69 his ass. Damn.
Just so that like a group of teenagers will just shut the fuck up on trying to watch, something stupid like Annabelle 34 or whatever. But I think I don't think I'm giving the Scary Movie series enough credit for just how well it does these parodies of Scream. Yeah. This is just a side note. I find that when Scary Movie, especially in its later entries, try to parody non-Scream, non-slashers, it kind of fell a bit flat. I think its parody of The Ring is probably one of the funniest movies of all time.
Good, hey. Getting water on my floor.
The hair and then lifts up the arm and presses the other arm.
It looks like a cigarette.
I've tried to sit through, and I've still never gotten through Scary Movie 5.
Oh, you have to.
Do I?
The only funny bit is the Black Swan section where it's Ashley Tisdale having a little lesbian moment, and they've sort of instead put gifs and stuff in. There's like a cat licking a lollipop. There's two scissors going at each other. There's two hot dogs rubbing against each other. There's a train going in a tunnel. Yeah.
It's like that movie though, isn't it?
If Scary Movie was going to come back, because there hasn't been a new one since the 2013 one. I mean, Scream came back. Why don't they just do Scary Movie and just call it Scary Movie? Brackets 2022.
I'd be down for that.
I know a little bit of slang in there. Say, yo, that jacket is tight, son. Yeah, I mean.
Yo, that jacket is tight, son.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, me.
Yeah, something like that. You can throw it all together.
Okay. Hey! Kick! Yo, that jacket is tight. Now run that shit, bitch. Yeah, me.
But like, they would have to bring back the Wayans brothers, Anna Faris, who plays Cindy. Bring back
Brenda.
Regina Hall.
Was anybody of note attached to Scary Movie 5 for like writing and directing?
It was the same.
Was it the Zucker dude, Dave Zucker or whatever his name is?
He came in. Okay, so there's actually some trivia about Scary Movie 5. Halfway through the movie, the Weinstein Company were not confident in the movie. They thought it was going to be as funny as like the first 4 entries. What they got delivered was just the edit where it was Black Swan, the Paranormal Activity parody, which weren't actually, like the Paranormal Activity shit was never funny. Black Swan, Black Swan could have worked, but they had to refilm a lot of it. So they brought David Zucker in, and you could definitely tell that there's some parts of Scary Movie 5 that like, oh, this is a funny part. Oh, this was part of the reshoots. But then, the other parts of the movie just not that funny.
I think it's the opening that's the killer because, like, you know, I like Lindsay Lohan as an actor, even though like what she's gone through, I think, you know, whatever it is. But with her and Charlie Sheen, I find Charlie Sheen a bit kind of not feral. What's the word? A bit like dirty now.
Feral's the right word. Hey, yeah. Apparently, Lindsay Lohan was very careful about filming being in a bed with Charlie Sheen, and I do not blame her. Hey,
so
but that opening scene isn't that funny. I mean, apart from the that music that plays, it's kind of funny. That's about it.
Yeah. It felt like it was written by the same people who wrote like Date Movie or Superhero Movie. Like those are the parodies where I'm like, it's not that good. Hey,
I'd forgotten all about Date Movie and Epic Movie. Those movies were really bad.
I remember they're like one off that. It's probably like Meet the Spartans. That was probably the only best one next to Scary Movie.
God. It had its moments.
Suck, if you're missing. Yeah,
I'd never watched that one. I didn't mind. There was some good lines in a superhero movie, but I think that's the last one that They need to do another superhero movie. Look at the state of cinema right now. They need to do another superhero movie.
Titanium blades. They cut through diamonds.
I'm not wearing any diamonds.
I am a huge fan of Vampires Suck, the like vampire parody one of Twilight. It's some really parts in it which are so stupid, but it's so funny.
Who's that? Snooki, JWoww, DJ Polly D. No, not the douchebags from the Jersey Shore.
The actor of Bella in Vampire Suck is like perfect, like on point with Kristen Stewart in Twilight, and they do such a good job at it. And it's got what's the name?
Kelsey.
She's like, if you touch Rick's wang, I'll cut you, and then just like walks off, and it's like, oh yeah.
And they put in like all the over the top sound effects. Like that was one of the movies where I was like, shit, this was made by the same people who made Date Movie. This movie's actually funny though. Like Date Movie, I remember watching it being like, huh, what?
Yeah. The opening scene, I think, is Breaking Dawn Part 1 and 2 when it came out in movies. And I remember it just brings me flashbacks. I don't know if anyone remember when Red Rooster was doing like a promo for Twilight. And I'm pretty sure it was that. And I remember the ads were always glorifying Twilight, like Breaking Dawn Part 1 and 2. And I'm like, it's a crap vampire film.
Just while we're on the topic of Twilight, I've got a confession to make that I'm not proud of. I have not watched. I have read all of the Twilight books.
Same. I stole the books from the library.
I was about 15 when I read them. I remember it being interesting enough to read them all, but I don't know how. I don't think I'll be able to go back. I've seen like excerpts from the book and some of the just really bad writing in it. I was like, damn, I didn't notice any of this when I was younger.
Yeah. I remember watching a clips of the movies and I audibly groaned when it was the part where they're in the tent And they're like, no, Bella, you have to be skin-to-skin contact with Jacob. And I'm like, if you're going to do like a gratuitous shot of a guy with abs or whatever, you have to be fully committed to it. Don't make it look like it's part of like this deep and meaningful story. It was so fucking stupid.
They did that in the earlier ones. They just had scenes with like Jacob taking his shirt off and stuff, obviously just for that vibe.
Yeah.
I don't know why they would need to hide behind that in a subsequent film.
They mocked that in Vampire Suck, and there's a scene where he just takes his shirt off and he goes, why did you take your shirt off? And it says contract says so. And then he looks at the camera with the contract.
Yeah. God, we've really veered off here, haven't we?
Thanks, I'm sure there's some audience overlap between Scream 2 and a teenage movie from 2008. And, do we feel that Scream 2 holds up today, 25 years after release?
I like that they leaned into some of the jokes and references from the first one, particularly with the fake movie, Tori Spelling, like the joke in the first one. With any luck, I'll be played by Tori Spelling, and bingo.
And then back,
This shit writes itself, you know?
Yeah.
All I could think of is maybe when Chris Rock made that joke about her having alopecia, maybe she should have been like, I got my money, I asked for your money.
Your money.
Yeah. Who would ever think, if you traveled back in time to 1997 and you said, oh, that girl that dies at the start of Scream 2, yeah, her husband's going to slap Chris Rock at the Academy Awards. Like, you would think that I'm on drugs if I said that.
And you're not going to be able to find news on anything else. I've heard every take. I've seen every meme. Just let's move on now.
I wish he bitch slapped him like he did and said that was a spiral and then walked off.
That was just a diversion to get us out of the precinct. I need everyone on this case.
Oh, yeah, that would have been so much better. See, everyone would have forgiven him then because that movie sucked.
Like, why didn't he do that? I would have done that. I'd be like, yes.
Have you heard the anti-vax take on all this shit? There's already all those fucking...
Oh, QAnon?
Yeah, or whatever you want to call the type of people that will just believe anything they read on Reddit. But apparently Pfizer is releasing a drug that treats alopecia. These anti-vax motherfuckers think that was
like a cover-up if you... search alopecia.
No, not a cover up. What's it called? Like a publicity stunt to sort of bring attention to alopecia as a condition. So Pfizer can bring out these motherfuckers will believe anything.
I don't know whether to laugh sometimes or just to be like, Jesus, what the fuck is wrong with this movement?
Just one thing I want to mention with Scream 1 and 2, I don't know if you guys know, the box office for number 2 was less than $1 million of what the first one made, which is pretty good when you think about a sequel, that it pretty much made the same money, considering the leaks that had happened in number 2, Justin.
I do think, though, from memory, when I was researching for this podcast, the movie studio was expecting at least a 10% increase in the box office, because Scream, when it first came out, it's a brand new intellectual property. It needs to make its mark. It's then easier to make box office returns with an existing IP. So usually a movie studio does put like a 25% expected return on the original film's box office. And then when you get into like other sequel territory, like number 3 or number 4, the expected does go way down. I was surprised that it actually took in less than Scream 1. Most people know Scream 2, but then most people, if you say, have you watched the original, they actually might say no. But they might have seen Scream 2, they might have seen Scream 4.
The budget was pretty good. I'm just having a look. It was 14 to 15 mil for the first and 24 for the second.
Yeah, you could tell they stepped up production with the second one, more set pieces.
They went to a university campus this time.
Thanks, BP and Coop, for joining me today. Listeners, in our next episode, we discuss Scream 3, the mixed sequel, and we continue our Scream miniseries with the 4th and 5th installments, including some news on the upcoming 6th installment due for release in March 2023. Plus, from July, we discuss all the Chucky films and the TV series in our Child's Play miniseries. Comment below if you'd like to see us take on a particular horror movie, or if you would like to join as a guest co-host, feel free to get in touch. Feel free to chuck us a like, comment, tip, all that stuff. Subscribe for more if you'd like to be the first to listen to our newest eps. And if you hated our podcast,
just like you, I'd like to get back on with my own life.
Do you have any comments? You bitch.
Hey, deep breaths. Not on camera.
Oh, Sidney, share with us, please. Oh, I'll share with you.
Okay.
Did you get that on film?
Yes, I got that on film.
911 emergency. Hello?
I just killed my boyfriend.